I
Like,
mean,
is that
rap
what this
has
is?
been dumbed down for this guy, and he still can't keep up.
Tastemakers.
Class. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers, alright. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. We do more than make a living, we make.
You got any content on that?
Yeah. So this is a clip of what Shannon said that made Shaq upset.
We're never going to see another guy Shaq's size with his athleticism that was as dominant as him. Shaq should have 5 MVPs. He sees a guy like Nikola Jokic that's not as dominant as him and gets 3 and 4 years. But see, when you historically great, they talk about you as great basketball player, the GOAT, and Shaq is never brought up. And I think a part of him is envious of that.
When we talk about the greatest basketball players of all time as far as the GOAT conversation, Shaq's name is never brought up in that?
Yeah. It's hard for me to put somebody in the GOAT conversation with 1 MVP, regular season. It's hard, Gil. So we're going to take somebody with 1 regular season MVP and put him in front of people that got 3, that got 4, that got 5. If Shaq would have had, if he'd had my work ethic, he'd have had 40,000 points.
So, and for the record, that video is extremely chopped. Like that joint is conveniently chopped at certain points because I've seen the whole joint of what Shannon was saying. That joint is chopped up in a diabolical way. But basically, Shannon was just saying what Shaq had already said his whole life. Shaq was so big and so talented that he really didn't have to work hard. And he didn't have to take care of his body. And he didn't have to do a lot of things. Whereas, Shannon Sharpe's a 7-round pick who works extremely hard, takes very good care of his body, and becomes a Hall of Famer. Now, nobody will ever say that Shannon is as great as Shaq is in their individual sport. Nobody will ever say that. But Shannon was just putting back what Shaq said, which was what Shaq had said in the past, which is, I didn't work as hard as I should have or could have. And I was still, what I was. And Shannon's just saying, look, if you would have worked as hard as I have, you would have been unstoppable, basically. And so I think that maybe got Shaq in his feelings. Also, Shaq is a big sensitive. Shaq liked to get in his feelings, too. Was there any other content we had regarding them two going back and forth?
I don't understand how Shaq didn't work hard. I don't get that.
When you say
that
you don't understand
Kobe's gripe, too.
Yeah, that was Kobe's gripe against Shaq too. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't understand why he didn't work?
What you mean he didn't work hard? Help me understand.
Like he didn't train hard. He didn't practice hard. He didn't go up. He didn't
document it.
Huh?
This is documented.
This is words out of Shaquille O'Neal's own mouth. This is also the issue that Kobe Bryant had with him.
You're just talking about on the conditioning just for performing the sport, not everything else. Because
what are you saying when you say everything else?
It takes hard work to be as visible as Shaq was outside.
No. We're talking about at his specific career.
You're just talking about
sport.
physical conditioning.
Yes. We're talking about this. Yeah. We're talking about physical conditioning and studying the game and knowing the game. We're talking about your specific career in basketball.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're talking about.
I mean,
yeah. And so,
but are you talking about on the court? Because I don't see how he wasn't working. I guess y'all are talking about training and conditioning.
Training, conditioning. But even on the court, you could Shaq could get worn down. He could get. There was years where there were some years where he was totally out of shape on certain joints or whatever the case may be. Shaq was just a freak. A 7'2", 330, 40 pounds, 60. I think bigger than that. He was a freak. And so
I just wanted to understand how you all were using that phrase, because I regard him as having a great work ethic. So I see now you're referring to something else. So
we're talking Drake's basketball. When you say work ethic, we are talking about his work ethic in basketball.
Okay.
Yes.
No, in that specific vein, okay, yeah, I get it. I can see.
Okay, yeah. When it comes to marketing and a lot of business ventures, I mean, Shaq has done a great job, and people would think maybe above and beyond. I mean, you can't. For one, you can't take away. Nobody can take away anything from Shaq. Period. But out of Shaq's own mouth, he would say he didn't work as hard, or didn't practice as hard, or didn't train as hard. He could have done better in that area. He didn't, that would be the thought process. I mean, he's still Shaquille O'Neal.
I get that.
I mean, he got to hit our first ring in like how long? Or like ever?
He got who?
He made 2005 a very beautiful year for me. He and Dwayne.
So he made that, not Dwayne Wade?
Dwayne Wade went finna do it by himself.
But who got that MVP for the finals that year?
Who cares?
Do you know the numbers Dwayne Wade was putting up that playoffs?
Yes,
that whole playoff
I do,
joint?
because I watched every game. I know, but he was not gonna do it by himself.
I mean,
the three-ish Pete taught us that he wasn't gonna do it by himself.
Well, he was a lot older there and a lot broken down from a body standpoint too.
Either way, he never did it by himself.
Okay, I mean, nobody does it by themselves, right? Nobody.
There you go.
Not even Michael Jordan. So, anyway, so I guess now that Shaq has made a diss track against Shannon, and now there's just been back and forth. Do we have any of that stuff?
Who told Shaq to start rapping again?
We have a clip of that.
Oh, do we have to play? Oh, God.
Man, you're way beneath me. Your whole demeanor is faker than new rapper beefy. You're soft. Before you get fly, you rather tweet me. I was in 3 different cars when you was in 3 feet. All I see is dollar signs. They come in 3D. Make it hot. Ain't no way around my degree. You are not in my spot. You are like a peewee. Shula got them calling me Rocky the way I reread. I get to the green bag. I don't mean a lawnmower. Jet flying, foreign driving, Best Buy and Donpora.
So I guess everybody is in a rapping mode now. Like, let's put our rap beefs together.
I mean, rap has been dumbed down for this guy, and he still can't keep up. I think he's still objectively bad.
When Shaquille was younger, I think he did okay with the raps. Like the Fushnikins and Shaq. Like, that was okay.
No, it wasn't.
Do you want me to shoot it? Do you want me to pass? Do you want me to slam? Ha, 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 ha. Anyway, I don't think I said shouts out to Peter in the chat, so shouts out to Peter in the chat as well. Anyway, it is what it is. Fun times. That is really everything. I don't, Shannon and Shaq going, I think Shannon is taking it. I think Shaq is taking it a little bit out of, I don't know, concerning Shannon. I don't think Shannon said anything horrible concerning Shaq.
Why do a diss track against someone who's not a rapper?
Ooh, Charles, really? Really, Charles? Can we rock? What's up, Doc? Can we rock? What? Oh, man, you're making me feel real old right now.
Nostalgia.
Oh, my gosh. Whew. But anyway, yeah.
Tastemakers.
Class. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers, aight. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. We do more than make a living, we make